Coding over here. Shut up. Shut up, computer. You don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, hello. Hello, everybody. Good evening, night. You know the things. Hello, hello. Oh, man, it has been a hot minute, mostly because I've been, doing the usual. I've been doing the usual of the old sleep cycle, ring around the rosy, so to speak, where we just kind of go around and around and around we go, and I'm having a hard time actually getting back around where I've stabilized. I have stabilized at reasonable times, and it's actually making things to be a pain, where I can't really stay up late enough to actually do things, like that I want to be doing or should be doing. But yes, so that's where we're at. Ooh, I better turn that off. Almost had an alarm going off. Alrighty, okay, in fact, actually, let's just turn off all the sound there. There we are. Alright, we have a phone ready to go with our touch portalage. This should work. It's not showing. Why isn't it? Oh, I know why it's not showing. Okay. So it's because I didn't have anything selected there. Alright, cool. We should be good there. Alright. So, let's go ahead and officially start our recording, and I guess we'll get started. I have a lot to talk about, I suppose. Kind of out of place here, so I guess we'll do it like as we go along here. But there's kind of a lot to talk about, and it's going to be things I should probably, you know, that'll be more relevant when, you know, other people kind of pop in here. Because there'll be this kind of suspects where they're like, oh, I know this game, I understand this game. But there's a couple good things with there's a couple good things, couple bad things, couple mediocre things. One of them, and like the most important thing I think that's kind of happening right now. Well, I say most important, not really that big of a deal. At the end of the day, is that we got a little bit of news. We got some Warframe news, a little bit of news about the upcoming changes to Rivens and the Riven system. And for those who don't know, Rivens are basically, we'll call them custom mods for very specific weapons in the game, and they're custom mods in that you roll them. They are RNG. You roll them, you spend a resource every time you roll them, and you get a randomized set of stats, either 2 really good ones, 3 really good ones, or 2 really good ones with a really bad negative, or 3 really good ones with a really bad negative. And sometimes that negative can be, you know, harmless, and that's what is referred to as like the god roll, right? Whatever. Right. So they're introducing combined stats on those ribbons, basically meaning that you can take 2 stats on there, combine them up into a new stat, and all that, and then you can also, along with that, choose just one stat to lock, and it's kind of set off a little shitstorm. It's kind of set off a little shitstorm, in that at first, for like 2 hours, everyone was just kind of like, great change, love it, anyway, moving on. And then Brozyme posted a video where he had a thermonuclear reaction, basically freaking out, and not undeservedly, given his prior stance on Rivens as a whole since their introduction, like almost 10 years ago. I believe it'll be November. 10 years since their introduction to the game. He's hated them. And he's like, this sucks. This actually is going to make things worse. And just kind of, this is going to make things worse because of now we have RNG stacking on top of like RNG. And it kind of set off like a little shitstorm. Him doing that. He posted a thing today, you know, basically going over the math and everything, and it's like, okay, you're right. You are, I think you are correct. And Rivens are kind of just like, and so we're kind of just in a spot right now where like Rivens are basically like, oh, okay, that was fast. Okay. Well, we got it. Well, shit. It has been less than 10 minutes since the start of my stream, the button that I hit. Okie dokie. We're just gonna go ahead and... Alright, well that was fast. Now what the fuck do I do today? What in... What? Okay. All right. I knew I was streaming today for some reason. All right. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and make sure we've got our save state here, just in case something goes wrong and the emulator crashes. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to go on to what's the cute one you're missing? I don't know. Hold on. Let me go ahead and yeah. Let's also make sure we're going to close this one down. We're just going to close that emulator down. There we go. See, we joined at a good time. You did indeed. Indeed? I don't know where the J came from. Okay, so we have a Stakataka. I was in the middle of a Warframe rant over like the new current controversy. And mid-sentence, there it is. That was fast. I will fucking take it though. Yeah. Ranting to no one, basically. Hello, everybody. All right. Okay. So first of all, I actually need to be able to see the screen here, so we can actually kind of. What we're gonna do is Can I skill swap this thing? I think I can skill swap it. Yeah, there we go. I get Beast Boost now. And he gets the Harvest. Does he still get to keep his... He keeps his stat boost, and I don't get the stat boost. Okay, rude. Bro. Okay. I know that I'm doing too much here. I know that I'm like going to, you know, doing too much here, but I'm playing it safe. Why are you using Iron Defense? I don't think I've ever seen Stakataka shiny before. Well, this is certainly my first time seeing it live in person. This false swipe is gonna do fucking nothing. I've never seen it asleep before, I'll tell you that. It actually, like, closes its eyes. That's weird. Okay. I'm also realizing I didn't timestamp. I've completely forgotten how to do that, to be honest. Not how to... Oh. Okay, buddy. I think we're just not gonna... We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna go find a beast ball real fast. We are 100% grabbing a beast ball real fast. Yeah, I've got one for you, buddy. Here you go. Okay. I have no idea what to do with myself right now. That was entirely unexpected. That was fucking quick. Get a shiny Snorlax. You know, I would if I didn't already have a dupes of that. Like, a couple of them. But I like where you're going with this. I like where you're going, Missy. What do I want to name you? What is your gold bars? Basically, your gold bricks. What do we name you? Is there another, like, what are like other words for gold? Or gold. Shiny Smeargle if you don't have it. I also, I believe, do have one. But I will double check. Let's see. What do we want to do here? And I think, what was it? In Latin, it's like Auron, right? Or something like that. What's gold in Greek? Whoa. Oh, that's... Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to throw in all those accents and stuff, man. Come on. Alright. Looks like corn. It does kind of look like corn. Go with a basic butter. I also see butter. We're naming him Kerrygold. That's what it is. We're naming it Kerrygold. Let me double check how to spell that. We're naming it Kerrygold. Okay. That honestly kinda fits the bill. Hold on. I need to get a screenshot before you go away, buddy boy. Screenshot. There we go. Kerrygold has been added to the party. Haha! Well, and that's it. No more Stakataka. That was the second one. So at 715 encounters, we got ourselves a little Kerrygold. Look at him. Look at him. I think I need to readjust the volume just a smidge. Whoops. There we go. Oh, it's so pretty. Minus attack plus defense is actually not the worst. It probably should have been like minus special attack, but I mean, honestly, not a horrendous nature, all things considered. Not a good one, because of the minus attack, but still, that's pretty cool. Can I move that held item? I sure can. I can move it over to Trevenant. Wait, is Zoroark in this game? It sure is. It's probably going to be this next encounter. You never know. Yes, it is. Yes, it is the next encounter. There you go. I have been needing to get a hold of one of these. Hunting one of these, though, I'm not... I think you can probably SOS chain it, but I don't think I'm fully prepared to. You know what I'm saying? And this is also the wrong set of buttons. All right. Well, that was eventful. I'm awake now. Little less sleepy. Zoroark is such a cool Pokemon. I agree. I wish it was a little easier utilized. But I am a fan. I am a oh, look at that thing. Oh, that thing's awesome. Okay. Oh yeah, for you know, in the process of hunting for Stakataka, I did get like a random encounter, just a full-on random encounter Baniri. So that was pretty cool. Also got our type null. We got like, this is basically what we've got in this game in particular. Let me go ahead and pull up the document. My spreadsheet. Let me see here. Control F, Stakataka. There we go. Based. Based. Absolutely based. Let's see. Did I not get the events for Solgaleo and Lunala? I don't remember if I did or didn't. I think there weren't. Well, maybe they weren't an event. Maybe it's like a Dynamax adventure. I don't remember. Okay. Alright, so we have some more Ultra Beasts we can get our hands on. There's Guzzlord, there is Xurkitree, there is Pheromosa, and Buzzwole and all them. Kartana, Celesteela. There's a few more of those. Let's see. Anything else specific to Gen 7? Okay, I don't have a Green Core Minior, but there's no way to know if it's Green Core in this game when it's shiny, so writing that off until... I could Masuda hunt for that, but I would need a Masuda Ditto set up for that. I think technically you can hunt for Wimpod, but it kind of sucks, so meh. Let's see. I could also basically just stop recording now, actually. Whoop. Indeed. All right, so, man, I mean, I've actually knocked out a fair few of the of Gen 7 here just because they've been available in Scarlet and Violet. Oh, there's some Marini and Toxapex, and I think I did get some in Violet. I just didn't mark them off here, so that's a thing. There's Wishy-Washy. That would be a kind of a fun one to do. Man, Gen 7 has, like, 60 Pokemon, doesn't it? Doesn't hardly have any of them. Midday and Lycanroc. Midday and Midnight form, I apparently don't have both of. I should. I can't really check right now because I don't have my home subscription up. So that's... we'll just have to find out, I guess, later. Braze done. Dewpider and I guess Araquanid isn't. What else? Oranguru and Persimmion's done. Comfey's not, but I think that one might be gender weighted. Bounsweet, maybe? Is there a way to farm Bounsweet in this game? Is there a way to farm Bounsweet? Let me check that Poker Dexu. The Alolan Dex. Actually, let's do, like, Akala, I think. And then through here, I should be able to just kind of pick it out. Yep, I see it. Habitat Unknown. Oh, wait, no, hold on. This one? Yeah, so Bounsweet is Habitat Unknown. Does that mean it just doesn't exist? Like, as is? Or is it like a specific trigger? Like, I have to basically SOS chain for it? Or do I have to, like, find it from... oh, man, it's probably from, like, a shaking tree or something. Okay. That's less fun. Ooh, fossils. That could be... so there is Partner Cat Pikachu, but I have to do a little bit more setup. I have to find a way to scan a... I have to find the QR code and scan that, and I think I'm probably in the way. I'm going to have to do that. I'm probably going to have to, like, move this save file. So for those who aren't aware, I'm playing on an emulator, but this is a save file, like for an actual, like a perfectly legit copy that I can then transfer over to my hard copy on my 3DS so I can actually send it up to home and stuff. I'm just playing it on the emulator for convenience for, you know, for streaming. So yeah, that's basically how I'm going to have to do the QR code, because I think there's a way to scan QR codes with this emulator. It's just funky. I don't actually know if I can. I don't know if I can or not. It's been a minute. Let's see. So there's Partner Cat Pikachu, which is going to be a whole thing, because you have to basically have to check it in the menu every single time in order to see that it's shiny, because it doesn't actually have a shiny sprite, it just has the little symbol. Oh my god, Pyukamuku. That's funny. I love that thing. Is it on this island? It has to be on this island. Where are you, you little goblin? There you are. I love this homie. Tell me more. Okay, you're in the water. Okay. Oh, it even just like tells you where it is up on the top. I was looking at the bottom screen, wasn't even paying attention to the top screen. I suppose like there's always some kind of like legendary that we can go start hunting. But other than that, not too sure, honestly. Morning Arms, you basically just missed it. We got our Stakataka. We actually nabbed the Stakataka within like, I think it was like 10 minutes of the stream. But we got him. It's Kerrygold. I'm sorry, did you just get the Stakataka? Yep, I did. The hell? Yeah. Yep. I was mid Warframe. I was in the middle of providing context for a Warframe rant I was gonna have. It's about the good old Riven controversy that's going on right now. It's less about like an actual controversy, because it's not really controversial. But you know, if you've seen the Brozyme stuff, you know. Now what else? There's like so now what I'm in the middle of doing right now is figuring out where to, like, what to hunt next, because there's a bunch of stuff I can hunt. It's just a pain in the ass to actually get to it. We could try doing some I guess we could do some ultra wormholes, see what happens. Who knows? I haven't, but I think I have an idea. TLDR then, especially for those who might have even caught the tail end of it. Basically, you know, the context of Brozyme and Rivens is that since their inception almost exactly 10 years ago, which would be in November this year, in 2016, November 2016 to this year would be almost 10 years. He was like, wow, the way that you've implemented this sucks. I hate this. I'm never interacting with this layer and layers and layers of RNG because, you know, I'm not gambling. I'm not going to do it. And so basically he saw the new changes and went, wow, that's great, except why are we only locking one stat? And why are we introducing more and more layers of RNG as well as locking the one stat at an increased resource cost every single time? And having heard him out and having seen his math, I'm convinced. I'm convinced of his position. Because part of what's happening here is we basically, something that I've laid out is that there has been such little, like there have been so many different systems that have just been blatantly horrible that have been completely ignored in that game for years. Years and years and years. They release a thing, it's great, they do some small, minor, bare minimum QOL updates every once in a while. Sometimes, like a couple years after its release, no changes, you know, after the initial, like, you know, dev cycle of like the first month or so of its release, right? Then after that, it's a couple years later, right? And then all the changes that everyone's like, hey, I have an idea. What if we could make this gooder? That basically gets ignored, right? They don't see it, whatever reason. And so you kind of just, you become grateful that even something is changing. Just like, oh my God, we get one stat lock and we get new stats. Bro, thank God it's something, because Ribbons literally have not, like, in terms of like the way they function mechanically, have not changed at all. At all. In 10 years. Longer than I have been playing the game. So people are seeing it and go, oh my God, thank you. Thank you for this morsel, this crumb. And Brozyme's like, fuck you, get help, call this hotline, for this gambling hotline. We're gonna fix this. And everyone's mad that he's ungrateful. And for once, absolute Brozyme W. Quite frankly. I think his initial reaction on that video, especially blowing up on the one person, you know, in the chat, I think that was a little harsh and probably a little unnecessary. But I have to say, straight up putting like the 1-800 gambling hotline in the follow-up video, just like as like an opener for the fucking video. That was immaculate. I will just not hit any of these apparently today. There we go. Oh, what the fuck are you? What the fuck is happening? I might have left something turned on. Yes, okay, so, you know what's happening here. This is a full disclosure thing. This right here, what just happened there was that I do have an action replay code plugged in here. We can even go take a look at, like, if we want to screenshot it, we can, so just for full transparency. I have an action replay code in here, basically, through the emulator, basically making it so that every single wormhole was guaranteed to be a legendary wormhole, so that I didn't have to do that for like 6 hours to get the right one that I wanted. So, I genuinely forgot that was on, because the last time we did that, the last time that I did that was actually probably 6 months ago when we started hunting Virizion. So, whoopsie, my bad. I guess you caught me, but I also feel no guilt whatsoever. I don't have a shiny thing on there at all, so. Hi there, Terrakion. Okay, so I guess we're hunting Terrakion today. And just to reiterate, I will double check my, thing just to make sure. Do we have configure? Or would it be configure current game? Let's see. Under cheats. Yeah, it's specifically what I have here is straight up just for the wormholes. So I have no outlines, no ghosting, Ultra Beast wormhole level 4, and then always red, blue, yellow, or green wormholes level 4. That is what I've got in here. If you want a screenshot, I can take them, you know. Let's go ahead. Whoops, not that one. It would help if I can actually take a fucking screenshot because my mouse wasn't so retarded. Oh my god, I'm going to... There we go. This works. Just for transparency's sake. Where is it? Image. Why am... My poor mouse is dying. Anyway, yep, there you go. Those are my... What are you doing? What are you doing? There we go. Yep, there you go. That's everything important, everything necessary. You can see it, you can screenshot it. We're deleting this now. Anyway, I guess we're hunting Terrakion now. Let's see. As cool as the change is, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't from the perspective of like what they are and how we should treat them as they are. It really is, but but looking at it from the perspective of like where Brozyme is looking at it, it's like these should be like an end game, you know, the end game of end game type of grind, like over time, to maximize the potential of a single weapon, right? So it's basically something you do over time with a set of with basically an eventual guarantee. Not so much like a pity system, but more so like as time goes on, you can lock each desired stat and keep going and going until you get the thing you want by, you know, with your rolls, right? And Riven's a pretty much broken weapon balance. Well, Riven's a pretty much broken weapon balance only for Incarnons, basically, at this point. And that's because the Incarnons that exist already had ridiculously high Riven stats because those weapons sucked ass, and they refused to lower them. So, yeah. I mean, I really like the perspective and the direction that the Zyme was going with the Riven discussion, in that it should be sort of like he's even taking it to a level where I'm like, yo, maybe that's a bit much, because he's like, get rid of Riven disposition, equalize it for everything, and he's like, yeah, just leave it at like 1.55, the absolute maximum for everything. And I'm like, maybe that's not ideal. And he's like, yeah, I realize, you know, he's like, you can nerf it if you want, it's DE's game, they can, right? You know, it's their choice. If they think it's too powerful, fine. I'm just doing it this way so that no one gets their weapon nerfed. And I'm like, cool, I respect that, but also a 1.55 Torrid Riven is fucking insane. So maybe we should relax. A 1.55 Latum is insane. Let's relax. Yeah, maybe not that high, but equalizing dispos is honestly what I want. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's what I want too. It's like at the very least, what I want, no, dare say what I need is I need an a shortening of the range. I don't care if we nerf everything down to like 1.2 or 1.1, but bring everything up to 0.8 or 0.9, specifically within that kind of variance. And it has to be like an even spread. It can't just be like 1.8 to 1.1. It has to be like 1.8 to 1.2 or not 1.9. Fuck. You know, 0.8 to 1.2 or 0.9 to 1.1. Or obviously a flat 1.0 is where I, you know, for everything would be good too. But either flat or you got to have a very small range. Frankly, that is where it's got to be. And we've really, and just a single lock is insulting, honestly. It's like, oh, it's what you wanted for years, guys. Oh boy, Can you believe it? A single ribbon lock. A ribbon stat lock. Wow. It's like, no. No. The reason anybody even suggests that isn't so that we can get, one lock. It's so that, obviously, so we can lock multiple stats, so we can get closer and closer and closer to a good ribbon that's actually worth slotting in over something else to actually fit it onto the build. You know? I don't know. Alright, before I keep yapping, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and start saving our game here. I don't want to get too close to this thing without, let's go ahead and also start recording. What exactly is this ribbon thing? Oh, ribbon. Okay, so it's a thing in Warframe where it's basically think of it like a customizable mod where you can basically randomly roll its stats for a single specific weapon. Or I should say, a single specific weapon type. Or like a weapon and its variants. So like you can have like the same gun, but like with like 2 or 3 different variants of the same gun, and the thing can, that sort of thing. I'm just gonna keep getting as close as I can. Every inch makes a difference here. Every half step. I know this is gonna be really, really annoying. Hearing the save thing again and again and again, but this is just how... Oh, there it is. Okay, so before we continue on, I didn't actually realize we need a new counter. Yep. We need a new counter. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and set up our Terrakion counter. And I'm glad we actually have him on the screen so that I can actually read his name. So I can spell it. Create new. Not a folder. New text file. Text document. Alright, Terrakion. Open. Alright, count 0. We're just gonna go ahead and make that 1. Just because we can. Alright. And so this should be that. Okay. And then this, we can go ahead and delete you. Let me go ahead and also find Terrakion in here. There you are, buddy. If I just gently... Oh, that's my camera. I said, why are we moving him? Oh my god, my fucking mouse. I'm gonna blow a gasket here, dude. Something like that. That'll work. There we go. That'll work. Alright. Very cool. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and mute the game, put our music back on. There we go. And resume with a little shtabam. Oh, lordy. I was kind of hoping that would be a first encounter situation, I won't lie. Yeah, especially with how some weapons rely on good Riven rolls to hold up in Steel Path, one stat lock is horrible. It's like, Rivens are not mandatory on, like, 99% of weapons. However, they are absolutely, like, in almost all cases, always better to have than anything else, if it's even got, like, remotely resembling a good stat, you know? Especially with the reintroduction of combined elementals. Inherent combined elementals. Not, like, 2 mods on there that combine. It's no. This is just a full-on secondary, like, combination elemental mod. Just, we get viral and corrosive as a stat just on there. Or blast. This means you can basically mod for, like, viral blast now. Especially on second. If I get a Kuva Nucor Riven, I'm just throwing this out there. If I get a Kuva Nucor Riven at, like, you know, 0.5, you know, disposition or whatever, right? Dog, like, you already know that thing is going to become the most insane, cracked out of its mind weapon in existence now. Because you could potentially, theoretically, again, this would take literally millions of rerolls, realistically, to get this. Given how the current math stacks. I could theoretically get a viral and blast Riven with status damage. And, like, minus zoom. Something stupid like that. Or like, any combination of, like, what I've got on my gun right now, especially critical damage. Like, punch through critical damage and viral on a Riven, or blast on a Riven, that I can then, you know, swap out, I could then swap out the other, like, critical damage and punch through mod, and then basically slap in, I don't know, viral or something. It's nuts. That is single-handedly, that is the best gun in the game now, because now you can do, because especially with Zidane Uskos, you could basically just do viral, blast, heat, and electric with a prime mod. That thing's gonna go crazy. Amprex stonks go crazy. Or even multi-viral and crit damage and some throwaway negative. Exactly. Anything like that. Especially because this basically tells me something. This tells me something important. Is that if they're willing to do this on a Riven, with these combined elemental, like, just these combined elemental mod stats on a Riven, if they're willing to do this, this tells me is that they're paving the way for some other ones. We're gonna get a blast mod, we're gonna get a gas mod, we're gonna get a corrosive mod, or we're gonna get a viral mod. It probably won't be instant, but we're definitely getting these, because that would be insane to me. That it's just not available, it's not a thing without that Riven. Because then it clearly becomes like Riven is literally mandatory and best in slot for some weapons now. Like, not even factoring in disposition. Just for the fact that you can for modding being a whole lot more condensed. Exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly why. No Sparky mod? What do you mean? A Sparky mod is in like an electric mod? We already have that. Like electric is like a base. It's like a base elemental. It's one of the 4 base, like, elemental. So the way that modding works, like when it comes to your elementals, I didn't hear you mention electric. I did, like an electric prime mod when I was talking about another gun. Anyway, the way it works is you basically have heat, toxin, cold, and electric. I can't open my middle without that one. And those four will combine into, pair up 2 for 2 in several different combinations. I think it's 6 different combinations, or is it just 4? Might just be 4. Into basically like a secondary elemental type, which means that normally, in most cases, you can't have some of these secondary elemental types and have the base primary elemental at the same time on a weapon without some niche exceptions. Like, for example, cold and electric make magnetic. Now, normally, you would have to mod a cold mod and an electric mod on to get magnetic. However, they did introduce a mod a couple years back now that basically had magnetic as its own predetermined stat. It's 6? Okay. Thought it was 6. But basically they made it so that you can have magnetic on as its predetermined thing, and then also still slot in cold or electric, and not have it add into the magnetic. Very, very interesting, very, very useful. Some of the more important, and the way that they've done it so far is it's been the least important, I would say, but more utilitarian damage types that have done this. So we got radiation for crowd control, basically, for making enemies confused, to be like, oh, I'm hitting my friend now, or magnetic to basically shred away their defenses. They're like, shields or what have you, that kind of thing. Up until now, that's basically been the only cases of it. And so them introducing that on Ribbons really tells me that they're either have no foresight whatsoever on like what this means for modding, and especially the way that people will talk about modding and the way that people will recommend modding. They have no foresight whatsoever, or they have foresight and are just going to be, they're going to introduce something like with that update as well. And then maybe some more over, as time goes on, like they kind of have done. I've got a feeling that Ice Blade of Naren is probably going to be like, they're gonna add like a blast mod or something. Blast or corrosive. It's probably what it's gonna be. Because there's no way in hell they're adding viral. And like, bro, like, this is also going to make Sentinel mods even more valuable than they already are. Just for being able to slot viral in, being able to put viral and cold on the same Sentinel weapon on like the Artax or the Glaxion, not Glaxion, Verglass. Being able to slot in viral for free, basically, non-combining, is nuts. You're now going to have, like, you're going to be able to slot in every single element. It's not even going to be funny. Like, this is admittedly, this is power creep, but I think this is like, it's power creep in like a really fucking annoying way. They're probably gonna nerf Sentinels assuming this. I doubt it at this point. I don't know, like, because I mean, it's like, right now it's basically, the way that Sentinels are, it's like you either, like most people just put viral and like heat or viral and whatever on their Sentinel anyway. Or if you're like me, you do corrosive and cold. Right? So most people just kind of go with that, and they're already stacking whatever they can on there, So I don't know. At that point, basically what you get is everyone starts playing with gas or blast on their main weapons. Because there's no reason not to. Especially if... Think about it like this as well. The nourish stonks are going to go way down too. This is actually going to be like a major nerf for nourish indirectly, and it's going to be kind of a good thing. Because like most people bring nourish for 2 reasons. Free viral and lots of energy. And in today's economy, you don't really like it's necessary sometimes for certain builds, but like with the amount of health orbs you can get and equilibrium, it's just, who cares? You don't need nourish at this point. Yeah, no, I mean, especially, oh my god, like, especially with Sentinel Rivens as well, it's like, bro, like, they're already at, like, near max disposition for a lot of them. They're already insane. Like, if I look at the Glaxian, well, it is the Glaxian. It is. If I look at the Verglis right now, actually, let me pull up this one. Verglis Prime. Verglis Prime, which I believe has the same ribbon disposition as the regular Verglis. It does, it's exactly the same. Comparisons, pretty much exactly the same. The Verglis Prime, or at least I think it's exactly the same. Hold on, let me check. Yes, it's exactly the same. It sits at 1.3 ribbon disposition already, like as it is. That's insane. Yeah. So, already kinda nutty. Yeah. I for one would really like to see a lot of like I don't even know how, like, if it's possible. Can we even get ribbons for the Akaten and the Bataten? For the hounds and stuff? Can the Akaten and Bataten da-ba-da-ba-da? You apparently... Hold on. Oh wait, that's because there's a thing there. Can it get a ribbon? Range mods do increase the hound's melee range. Oh! I didn't know that. I thought it didn't matter. So that's going to be another thing as well. Like, ribbons are going to be a really big deal on these. Yeah. This is puncture and slash. No, we're going to want the Bataten, because the Bataten is the best one. Because it's puncture and impact. Very, very cool. Hounds are going to go even crazier, dude. And so Elementalist does not increase attack speed. Interesting. Well, oh no, whatever. Anyway, point is, ribbons are gonna go crazy. But also, ribbons are going to be infinitely more toxic with these changes. That's really what it comes down to. Like, unless we get, like, way more control over the Rivens themselves and how we get way more control, way less RNG stacking on them, they're just going to remain one of the most toxic fucking things imaginable in the game. I don't think DE realized that no nerf will actually stop anyone from just breaking this game. Power creep is shot up so high that they'd have to rework the game to fix. Yep. Like, and this is just me shoehorning it in, but it's still, it is still an example where Wukong, in its heyday, pre-Veilbreaker, I know, we all knew we were going here already. Wukong in his heyday was probably, to be honest, kind of a menace. Even I will admit that. Even I will agree with that. You know, just due to how many people were playing him at the time. Specifically with explosive weapons. So, what was happening there was a crazy, it was a major fault in the game design of the time. And honestly, kind of to this day, still is, because these game modes still exist and haven't really been updated or changed at all. So, you had that. And then they nerf him. Okay. Subsequently, every 6 months or so, year after year after year, they have introduced either a new weapon, slash Incarnon, or a frame themselves, or accidentally given another frame that already exists a new tool in the form of like an arcane or something that absolutely just trivializes it, like puts what Wukong was doing to shame. And it happens constantly, practically every update. There's a new frame out there that can just start nuking. Fucking Ashe with the most recent Incarnon thing with the Obex. Like, Ashe and Bladestorm is really good, but like Ashe and the Obex, like with like as the Incarnon, like which is the way it like does like the radial explosion. That's a room nuke. That's just a room nuke. A faster room nuke than Bladestorm. Not as strong, but it's a room nuke. It's... every update, there's going to be something. There's fucking... Sirius and Orion's 4 right now is insane. It's actually really strong. It just fucking sucks because of the line of sight check. I've been using Sirius and Orion a fair bit, and I've been really enjoying it. But I keep finding myself teleporting into a wall or into the floor or something that basically makes it so that I don't hit anything. Or every time I do hit something, everything dies, and so I have to wait for the room to refill again, basically negating the entire QuickTime event that they've got with that frame. It's annoying. It's annoying. Gamertot, hello. How are you? I'm old man yelling at the clouds at digital extremes. Yeah, no, it's like these ribbon changes, like they're all right. Technically, I would say that they are a step in the right direction in terms of like, okay, cool, we got a single stat lock. That's good. I'm cool with that. I will also say that this is definitely not what we were asking for. Like, really, you're throwing us the most bare minimum of bare minimum bones, and it's kind of annoying more than anything. It's rude and annoying that this is how you're looking at it and how you're doing this. Obviously, if we're looking at Rivens and we want to like update the system, and especially if it's going to have some level of importance in this new update, tied in, why aren't we just completely overhauling this to be something better without the humongous levels of RNG. That's where I'm at with it. Cause it's lame. Like, I'll put it like this. With the proposed changes to Rivens, if you somehow manage to get the crazy God roll Riven, where you have 3 perfect stats and 1 harmless negative, right? The math is exactly the same as a full odds shiny hunt from Gen 6 onwards, with no buffs or modifiers or anything like that. It's like 0.0, maybe another 0.25, something like that. It's something ridiculous, right? And it gets worse from there when you start combining mods, or combining the stats on the mods, I should say, to get the perfect, the perfecter stats, right? It gets worse, and that is the worst that Pokemon gets for in those generations onward. That is the worst it gets. It only gets better from there. I can shiny hunt if you give me all day. I can shiny hunt this Terrakion and have it done by the end of today, probably. Well, maybe not today, but in 24 hours, I can probably get it. Easy. Will I be bored out of my skull? Yes. But it also is only a time sink. There isn't a resource cost, multiple resource costs involved as well. When fucking Pokemon is outdoing you in terms of like gambling health, you got a problem. Let's see. Sorry, I'm hunting type null and underleveled Salamence. Very cool. Very cool. I did the underleveled Salamence back in my day. I wasn't shiny hunting necessarily, but back when I first played Ultra Sun, like in 2017, back when I first played it, that was underleveled Salamence was that was one of my first party members. It was on the main team the whole game. It was like Salamence. I want to say it was Salamence. Definitely Incineroar because I'm basic. I can't remember everything off the top of my head. I think I had a Zoroark as well, and I want to say I had a Metagross, but I can't remember. I'm not sure. I think I did, but I could also be conflating a different team, to be honest with you. I very well could be, because I also played Moon as well, and I don't remember. I've done a few playthroughs of Ultra Sun, and I can't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I also want to say there was a Garchomp, but I wouldn't have had Garchomp, and I would not have had Garchomp and Salamence on the same team, I don't think. I think that'd be weird. That'd be crazy. I'd never do something so silly. Definitely don't look at my Pokemon Shield playthrough, where I did a Dragon Monotype playthrough. Don't look at that. Definitely didn't do that. I can't wait to get my shiny type null since it's so slow getting it. It really is. I manipulated a little bit where I basically, but I got both of them. I got 2. So I got my type null and I got my Silvally. So I'm thankfully I'm done. I've got that in Poipole. I'm done. The only thing I have left is 1 partner cat Pikachu. I think we're good. And I think they're all male. So I think we're good there. I manipulated my game a little bit because I'm running an emulator. you know, to play this, so I can, you know, and transferring it back to my DS or whatever. I basically just, I opened up 4 separate instances of the emulator, I won't lie. Just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this, you know, full odds bullshit. For something that should be affected by the shiny charm, but apparently is not. Yeah. So, yeah, I ain't doing that. Ain't doing it. Did some save state scumming myself to hunt Blacephalon before type null. Yeah, I did Blacephalon entirely, like, before I, you know, I did Blacephalon entirely, like, legit. Like, I got my charm. Actually, I don't even think I had the shiny charm when I got my Blacephalon. No, I don't think I had the charm yet. So I did it full odds, and before I homebrewed my 3DS to move my save files over here. That took a while. That was a solid week of on and off, you know, because I got bored sitting around, just me sitting on my couch and hitting select left and right. It took a fucking while, man. Doing the Salamence full odds. I think I do want to. I think I want to do some SOS chaining, and I don't know what I want to do though. I've been kind of really liking the idea of doing Furfro, but I don't know if I should wait till I get ZA or not in order to do that, just because it's probably going to be easier in ZA to do it. Maybe, or maybe it won't be easier, but it'll be a better use of my time since I only have so much time with Pokemon Bank. I don't know. I don't know. I've been debating it. I've been very much so eyes on the prize here. With some of these hunts because of the bank shutdown coming. So I'm very much so like, okay, here's what I've got to hunt. Here's what I can do immediately on stream. Like if I get another hunt, you know, if I get one done too early. Nice, by the way. So yeah, I'm basically looking at as many legends as I can get from Ultra Wormholes. And the Partner Cat Pikachu, and then I'm probably gonna move on from Sun and Moon. We might do, I think I'm probably gonna do a playthrough of Crystal here soon. Either that, or I'm gonna wait on that one. I don't know yet. Not sure yet. This thing is going to be a pain, actually, now that I think about it. Because this thing has Sacred Sword. Wait a minute, what's its level up moveset? Does this thing have recoil? This is Terrakion level 60. Do I still have a Cerebi page open? I do. It was Unova, right? Terrakion. You, level 60. What do you get? Stone Edge, Workup, Quick Guard, and Swords Dance. You don't have Sacred Sword? No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Hold on. Do you have a particular level up move set for like the Ultra Wormholes? Do you tell me what you learn? You do not. Okay. There we go. The Reddit page. The Reddit page. Do they not? Oh, do they? Oh, they list it here. Okay, so cool. They do list it on Cerebi somewhere. Okay, excellent. Love this for me. Love it for me. This is the greatest thing ever. Okay, so you do have Sacred Sword, you have Swords Dance, Rock Slide, and Stone Edge. Okay, so we have no recoil. We're good. We're good. We don't have to worry about them. Let's see. Oh, you listed it in chat. Thank you. You wrote down the moveset. Thank you very much. I apparently just found the Cerebi page for it. 50 turns total. Well, hopefully not, because I have a Trevenant with Harvest, Skill Swap, and a Lepaberry, so we should be good on that regard. Maybe. Hey, Fabled. You know, whiteboards are just remarkable. They are indeed. Speaking of, I actually had a whiteboard that I've had, you know, basically stuck onto my wall here for years now, basically scrawled with random terms and phrases and all that kind of garbage. It's just random stuff that popped into my head. Like, usually it would be like a game prompts or something like, hey, basic video game around this kind of stupid thing, because I was kind of into game dev for a while. Didn't get very far, not very good at it initially. Anyway, point is, I just erased all that. It's now a permanently visible list of things I need to do. It's just funny you bring up a whiteboard today. I'm more for Executor. That's fair. I trust Trevenant more since I just use an Executor, like an Alolan Executor in this particular playthrough, in fact, of this one. And that thing got clapped constantly. So I'm like, I like you, but also what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you, Executor? Jesus. How did you just get so demolished so much? And I know part of it was straight up skill issue, which is like, oh, you sent it into a thing, but it's like, yeah, but he just kind of sucked. And the end theme to follow up, Black and White really did have the best music. You know, I honestly don't care for Black and White's music as much as I like Gen 6 and 7's. And I know that's going to be a hot take, but I think I like Gen 6 music more. I'd say probably 3. 3 is probably the most iconic. 4 is probably, I think, overall my favorite. But 6 and 7 were really, really, really good. I did not like Gen 5's music. It's like, it's only memorable to me now because of how much time I've spent listening to it on stream. Can't tell me the Plasma Grunt's music didn't slap harder than a Mexican mom sandal. I think I hear it. And yeah, I don't really... meh. It's not Team Galactic. Team Galactic goes way harder. And I think I've been traumatized from exposure to hearing Getsis for way too long. I'm more for the Ultra Beast theme. I like you. I like you already. And Ultra Space. Mm-hmm. Galactic is just on a cosmic level of aura. Yeah. And even then, it's kind of, it's kind of bland, I would say. You know, as compared to Cyrus, obviously. But it's still really, really, really good. I just hear Dennis. It's, yeah, I don't know. I just, I feel like I'm kind of, I feel like I'm in this midway point of, kind of like, I was never like a full-on like Gen 4 diehard. Like it's still my favorite, but I'm never gonna be. I've never been like, oh my god, Gen 4 was the best. It was the best. It was the best series. It was the best ones. It was perfect. Like, I mean, it is, but Gen 5 brought a lot of good things to the table that Gen 4 just didn't have, right? Gen 5, just from an art style perspective, I don't like it. I like the animations. But I don't like how aggressively pixelated everything looks as a result of the animations. That's the way I feel about Gen 5. Honestly, like more than anything, people like love they love the 2D art, and I get it. I love the 2D art too in Gen 4. And they love the animations, you know, in Gen 5, and I get it, and I'm with you. I like the dynamic animations. I just don't like the way that I just don't like the pixel art. I don't like the sprites of the time. It's too, because of the animations, it gets too pixelated. And so I'm kind of in this point, stuck in between this point where, well, I guess it's better to rephrase it as, I'm still caught outside of the revisionist Gen 5 glazing. And I'm not saying everyone here that loves Gen 5 is like, is like that, but there's a lot of people that hated Gen 5 at the time that are like, no, actually, these are the best games ever. Best games in the series. This is where Pokemon peaked, and after this, the series is dead. Like, no. I don't think I hit the button there. I agree in some ways, and I disagree in most ways. It's like, I don't... Battle-wise, the game's peaked in 7. We had the most tools available. We had the most interesting... competitive scene. And that is where the game was, like, basically, like, the most interesting, near perfect. I don't see what Gen 5 did better than any other gen, to be honest. Like, each individual piece of Generation 5 just kind of, like, is... I don't see it. Like, what is it? Because if it's like, okay, as you say, like, Getsis was the peak of diabolical evil in Pokemon. Bro was even going to end Lily's life with his own hands after losing a battle if we didn't obey him. And what I'll say to that is, yes, but that was Gen 7. And I know this is, like, entirely opinion. This is entirely opinion, but I just didn't... Gen 5 story doesn't move me. It feels... To steal something from Sam here, to steal a line from Sam, Gen 5's story insists upon itself. That's really what it is. It insists upon itself. They did a lot of good world building. I will say that. In terms of like little things like that, like with the High Dragon that knows frustration. Yeah. I think that's great. Subtle world building. I think they did pretty good with that. I'll say that. But like as far as like the actual world building of the games, like they don't really, outside of like some lore, you know, some ancient lore that like some exposition, basically, there's not really a whole lot of actual like interesting world building in the game. In the games. Black and White 2 made a huge difference. It's much, much better with that sort of thing, actually, overall. But Black and White, like, as it, you know, as a standalone, and obviously, you know, you have to combine the two, Black and White 2, you have to combine them in if you're going to talk about Gen 5 as a whole, right? It's like, I don't know. I just don't... I look at Nimbasa, and then I look at, like... I look at Nimbasa and I go, this is... What am I supposed to do with this? In terms of, like, what am I supposed to learn from this, you know? What am I supposed to, like, what is the world building, the lore of this? And there isn't really any. There's Nimbasa, there's Castelia. In fact, actually, I don't think I hit the button there. Like, all the major cityscape places, they don't really... There's nothing really to them. I think, is it Nakreen? I think Nakreen is like the place with the museum, so that's kind of a good spot. It actually feels very well designed. There's the village bridge, which is really, really cool, I think. There's a bit of, you know, there's a bit of history and stuff there, but it's like, I don't know, you compare it to Gen 4, and you compare it to Gen 6, and it's like everywhere you go, each town feels like it has its own story to it, its own way of life, its own history. They all feel old. And Gen 5, the whole thing, despite being like an ancient, you know, filled with like an ancient legend about two dragons, you know, that used to be one dragon and all that sort of stuff, the whole place feels... And maybe it's, you know, maybe it's not actually a reflection of the game, but more so a reflection of myself and the way that I view the world. But I look at it in the same way that I look at like what a modern Pizza Hut looks like. Devoid of soul. And without the context of what Pizza Hut used to look like. It's just a soulless, nondescript building. Black roof, boring. If it wasn't a pizza, like if the Pizza Hut, you know, went out of business there and another business went in, you wouldn't know if you didn't know it was a Pizza Hut. That sort of thing. That's sort of the way I feel about Gen 5's, like, you know, world. You had the desert. That was cool. But that was the desert, like in an ancient ruined, like, you know, specifically meant to be place like that. Isiris City. It's got a tower on the outside of it. That's it. Doesn't really, there's nothing to, like, I don't know. Especially Gen 6. Gen 6 This is my Gen 6 Gen 6 glazing arc here, I guess we'll say. Because like everywhere you go in Gen 6, it's like, here is what the lore of this town is. Here is like how like what it is, and it's fucking gorgeous. It's visually distinct, each and every one of them. Gen 6, yes. Each and every town is visually distinct, and it's obvious, and there's lore to be had. There's NPCs to talk to. I'd say, I think it's Campfire. It's the one outside of the... It's the one like with the Pokemon estate to the north, and then like the mansion outside the route, and then up again. It's like right by the daycare, right by Route 7. I know that's Route 7 because I spent like 400, 700 hours there, something like that. That place is a little nondescript, but there's just so much more around that town, like because of the berry field to the south, because of the you know, the manor up above, and then the mansion directly up above as well, that it's kind of all just like the same place. So it's kind of a little muddy there. You have Lumiose, which is honestly a little nondescript there, but sure, okay. But everywhere else kind of feels like it has a good story to it, you know? Anastar City is probably the best, you know, great example as well. Anastar, like, you have oh, I'm blanking. The ice place with the windmills and the things and the stuff. Can't remember what these names are. Anyway, Gen 6 was goated. The only reason everybody like clowns on Gen 6 like over Gen 5 is because of the 3D Pokemon. That's really what it comes down to. 3D Pokemon, and like the art style like being a little desaturated and a little bland in some ways, and then just some of the like performance issues and some of the cut content. Which admittedly, that's a lot. That's a lot. But it's also like kind of minor in the grand scheme of things. Like, as the game is, like, it's... Gen 5 could never. Gen 5 could never. It also, just while I'm trashing Gen 5 real fast, while I'm trashing it, I think it over-relied on 3D way too much on the DS. It over-relied on the 3D, and it honestly just looked worse. It was a massive step down, just coming straight from Soul Silver. That did do like 3D, like for their buildings and stuff like that, but it was a massive step down. Massive step down. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead, I think, because I'm basically just like, I know I'm giving, you know, it's all the hot takes and admittedly probably wrong ones, you know, to everyone else, but I just don't. And it's funny because Gen 5 was kind of a funny point for me with the series. Pokemon White was the first game I had played in probably, well, maybe that's not true. Maybe I had Soul Silver first. Still, I spent a long time in Black and White, and Black 2. I spent a long time in those games. Just because it was kind of a turning point for me in the series. My hot take: Scarlet and Violet is fun. Based. I like you already. I also very much enjoyed them. Obviously not perfect. Anyway, when it comes to Gen 5, it's kind of a weird point for me because it was kind of years prior, I had basically lost all of my games, save for like a couple, right? I had lost all of them. I brought them with me because I was quite young, like just in a pocket, and they fell out of my pocket and they were just gone, right? It sucks because it was because of the lag, but I was born of the lag. Well, the lag did hurt quite a bit, but I've seen the Switch 2 version without the lag, and all problems are solved in my eyes. All important, real problems are solved in my eyes with that, in terms of like how the game plays. It's not perfect, but again, still. Anyway, so Gen 5 was kind of like a me returning to the series, like, full on. I think I had Gen 4 Soul Silver prior, but that was me like really getting back to it, and I spent a long time in it. But the way I feel about Gen 5 now is like, especially having replayed it, where in the moment I enjoy it and I have a lot of fun, but then after I kind of like, after I leave to go play other things, or, it's been a minute, what have you, it's like Gen 5 doesn't leave a lasting impression on me. It just doesn't. It's very whelming compared to some of the other ones. Like, I haven't played all the way through Pokemon X and Y, and I haven't played through it all the way in probably since 2018, maybe 16 even. It's been a long time, but I still remember it like perfectly. I played a little bit of it recently when I wanted to do sort of a living deck sort of thing. Where I caught a shiny, I caught 2 shinies actually, now that I think about it. No charm. Kinda awesome. But yeah, I put that one on hold. I kind of stopped like after the grass gym, I think. But track before now? Yeah. Hearing this track makes me want to play Mario Odyssey. I want to play Odyssey too, I won't lie. I should really play that on stream at some point. One day, we'll get there. We have a list. But yeah, no, like, for some reason, Gen 5 just doesn't hold any of the same lasting impact for me as, like, Gen 4 does, Gen 6, Gen 7. It's sort of, I put it in the same place as Gen 8 right now, in terms of, like, impact, which is not a great place to be. Though, I would say I like Gen 5 obviously more than Gen 8. I would willingly go back to Gen 5 a lot faster than I'm kind of interested in spending a lot of time in Gen 8, even though I do need to. There's a lot of hunts to do there. I don't know. It's a weird one for me. Like, and I think honestly, it does come down to a lot of like, almost like an art style and engine preference, I think, what it comes down to when it comes to Gen 5. Because I look at Gen 4, like both the Heart Gold and Soul Silver, like the remakes or Platinum or what have you, and that's cozy. It feels good to play. Maybe it's a little like slower of an engine. I don't know. Maybe, kind of. Not really, but it's just cozier, more comforting, and just, I don't know. There's meaning to it for me. Like meaning for the story has meaning. Or the experience does. Gen 5 is just kind of like things are happening and I'm along for the ride, despite being the primary mover of the thing. Not even really, actually, no, that's not true. N is the primary mover. but you know what I mean. Like, things just kind of happen. And it's not really a consequence. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stop hunting for the night. Alrighty. Does that mean you're taking off? If so, I hope you have a good night. It's wild that my first Pokemon game is Gen 9. It is wild. Not yet? Okay. It is wild from a perspective. It's wild for me, but it totally makes sense because of how accessible it is just on the Switch. Totally makes sense. I don't know, like, it's really weird to think about for me as someone who's basically might as well have been fucking born with the Game Boy in hand. But no, makes sense. I'm still, in a weird way, I'm still really looking forward to Winds and Waves. I'm ready. I am ready to be wowed. My expectations are low, but there are some. And I'm expecting them to be blown out of the water. Get it? 'Cause waves. There's a smidge of hopium with Winds and Waves. And this is something I've said before, but yeah. I think we're going to stop at 200 encounters for Terrakion. I think that would be a good point to wrap it up, simply because I am very tired. I'm very tired, and because I just slept horrendously. And part of this is it's been good because I've been able to kind of push the envelope a little bit as far as like how late I'm able to stay up. And which is good because tomorrow we should be Power Worlding, hopefully. It's been a little hit and miss lately. Mostly either because of me or you know, someone else has life get in the way for whatever reason, you know. But yeah, it's been I want to play video games with friends again. Damn it. Let's see. Speaking of, I should actually check and see, was there a... Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot there. Okay. So speaking of ARMS, if you're still here, did you see the Guild Wars update that dropped today? It's kinda fucking B-A-N-A-N-A-S. B-nanas. First off, I didn't why. A lot of skill buffs. Like, I think they said something like 150 skill buffs. So, a lot. But there's also, and admittedly, this is a little pay to win, but they now have an infinite identification and salvage kit that you pay money for it, like in the store, and then you go speak to a merchant and he'll hand it over to you. But now you just have a permanent, indefinite identification and salvage kit. as well as like a token that there's another purchase that you can make for a token that allows you to summon a merchant anywhere you are in the field. So you can just like sell shit off. Yeah, that's $10, and the merchant token summon is like 7. Yeah, so I'm going to get that. Yeah, I'm kinda... When I get the game again, I will be. When I get into the game again, I should say. I will be. There's a lot more to it. I actually have the update pulled up here. There's some crazy stuff. Oh, Ebon Hawk was okay. That's interesting. There's some pet AI adjustments. There's also okay. So account upgrade bundles as well. The Reforged starter bundle for $15 adds 2 additional character slots and 2 additional storage panes in the Zunlai storage chest. So that's pretty cool. Reforged costume bundle, $30 USD, unlocks all purchasable costumes that exist so far. You must own less than 9 existing costumes. So if you already own a bunch of them, then you'll basically just be like, nah, you don't need this. Just get the other. And I'm willing to bet, give it a little while, these will be on sale. These will be on sale. At some point. What's a reforged coin? So the purveyor will give you a reforged coin. So this is the thing you can summon in the field. After buying from the merchant summoning item, purveyor's bell from the yada yada yada. Collectors, the purveyor. Collecting 10 empowering feasts, 10 heroes trifectas, or 5 empowering feasts and 5 heroes trifecta. What's a heroes trifecta? Oh my god. Bro, that's so... Consuming a hero's trifecta provides the effects of a Grail of Might, Armor of Salvation, and Essence of Celerity for 30 minutes. Okay, if you have this account upgrade, the Purveyor will provide you the Purveyor's Bell, which allows you to summon the Purveyor in any explorable area, giving you access to merchant services out in the field. With this upgrade, the Purveyor will provide you with a reforged coin once daily, which is redeemable with the Purveyor for a variety of useful items. Items redeemable with reforged coins are subject to change. Can you farm for it? You get 1 daily. But that means you can hoard it. Which means you can easily just get... Dude, the Essence of Celerity farm may actually, probably won't tank, but the price of feathers is probably sky plummeting. That's nuts, actually. But yeah, they buffed a bunch of skills. Like, I think Sam just pointed out a major... He said, major red alert moment. Targeted buffs to bring blood and cursive more into play, along with some reworks to skills to increase their utility and potential synergies. This is specifically Necromancer. Animate Flesh Golem. Increase exploitable corpses left on the Golem's death from 1 to 4? Lyle, turn on the TV. They hit the fucking Pentagon. So the Flesh Golem... Whoa. Okay, so Sword and Axe Warriors buffed, Necros buffed again, Mesmer's diversified further out of Dom and into Inspo and Illusion. Rangers generally buffed, enemy spirit spam curbed. Lovely. Writs lightly buffed, especially secondary Writ heroes. Paragons with some added spice. Healing Monks buffed quite immensely. Not sure about Ellie's. Water looks more viable, but it's going to need some more, some extra E management. Grenth's Grasp Elite for Eve's build no longer needs a cold weapon. Eve's cripple build. So I'm reading off what Sam was saying. Just his thoughts on the thing. That's fucking nuts, honestly. That's nuts. But like I'm looking at the skill updates and it's like, dog, like there's a shitload of energy cost reductions for Assassin. A ton of them just go reduce energy cost from 10 to 5. Oh, by the way, you know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. Here, I'll hand you the link as well, Armsy poo. I'll just link the thing in chat to the wiki. Wiki.guildwars, there you go, game updates. They have Guild Wars 3 in development, by the way. This is insane. Yep. This is all coming from a very small team of like a separate team working on Guild Wars 1. This is also, they have Guild Wars 2 currently also still in development because it's going to always be in development. It's still a thing. And Guild Wars 3 is now in development as well. What the fuck is happening with this studio? What is going on? DE could never. Brother. I'm starting to lose track of like when... Okay, I think we're good. Wait. What? What just happened? Okay. That's accurate. Okay. But yeah, yeah, D can barely handle 2. They could barely handle 1. Let's be real. They could barely handle 1 and it ebbs and flows. Sometimes they have like a solid year of like perfect, a little dokey, but it's not that bad. It's fine. It's just minor, but then perfect again and perfect, and then they go like a full year this year. They did this in 2022, like the Angels of the Zariman update that introduced the Eximus rework all the way to Citrine's Last Wish was dog shit. Cause, you know, Veilbreaker was included there. Like I know the there was the Varuna update, which was pretty good actually, but like everything else in that year was fucking terrible. In that specific span of time for like 365 days until Duviri. It was rough. But like Assassin looks really, really good right now. I'm actually quite happy with this. Like most of these, like Seeping Wound, change activation range from half to full. That's pretty cool. Dervish looks honestly not a big deal because most of the changes here were PvP. There was Grenth's Grasp, obviously. Mystic Sandstorm, increase unconditional damage per second from... What? Each second, foes nearby this location take... Oh. Oh, Mystic Sandstorm is gonna go fucking crazy. So, Mystic Sandstorm is a Dervish skill that creates a sandstorm at your location that lasts 3 seconds. Each second, foes nearby this location used to take 10 to 20 damage. Wait. Yeah, unconditional damage. It looks like 10 to 20 earth damage, and then attacking foes take an additional 10 to 20 damage if you were enchanted when you cast a spell. It lasts twice as long. Right. But they increased that. They increased the initial 10 to 20 earth damage, the first round of it, to 10 to 40. Mox is gonna go burr indeed. Indeed. Elementalist, I'm not super sure on. What? Aftershock. Just both damage amounts from 26 to 10 and 10 to 68 respectively to 15 to 85? Reduces the unconditional damage, increases conditional knockdown damage, increases overall... What the fuck does that mean? Oh. Oh. What? Oh. Aftershock is gonna go... Right now, Aftershock says nearby foes are struck for 26, 85 to 100 earth damage. Knockdown foes are struck for 10, 56, or 68 additional earth damage. That's crazy. That's big. Aftershock is... Conjure Flames recharge has been reduced to 30 seconds. That's really, really nice. Obviously, would be, you know, better. Same for Conjure Frost, Lightning. Good. Cool. You like that. Icy Prism's energy cost has been reduced to 5. That's really good. Looks like a whole bunch of energy reductions, actually, as well. Rust got a buff. Ooh. Master of Magic. Change energy refund to, and you gain 1 energy plus 30% of the cost when you use an elemental skill. What was it? What did it used to be? Notes. Oh. Okay, so currently it is 30% of their cost, but maybe it hasn't been updated yet. 1 energy plus 30% of the cost. Okay. That's actually not, like, crazy. Steam? Hello, Steam? So they added something kind of crazy, actually, to Steam. Spell, target foe was struck for, we're just gonna say the maximum, like 20, 52, 60 cold damage. Okay, so the maximum was 60, right? If target foe is on fire, Steam blinds the foe for 5 to 9 to 10 seconds. And they've added 20 to 52 to 60 fire damage if they're on fire. So Steam is now going to be in any sort of burning build for Elementalists now. Like, Steam is crazy now. That's a lot of damage. Nice. Steam and Rust are crazy. Other than that, there's not really anything. Wait, oh. Soul Ignition. New skill, PvE only. While you maintain this enchantment, reduce overcast at a rate of 1 to 2 per second. You and all adjacent foes are afflicted with burning while this enchantment is active. Recharge 30, cast time 0.5. Energy storage, PvE only to start. PvE only to start? Does this do they intend to bring this so that... Wait a minute. Do they... They intend to bring this over to... They intend to bring this over to PvP. And so I presume this means they bring it there. They intend to bring this over to like heroes as well. Yo. Let me see Steam here. What is your... Steam is nuts, dude. Gasoline meta, let's go. Dude, Did I expect that I would be running the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, you know, self-immolate build? No. But do I have to listen to that song now? Yes. Not now, but soon. Soon. So Steam is crazy, by the way. Painting my nails for the trip I'm going on? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What kind of trip? Where are you going? But okay, so Steam, the skill is crazy because Big Dog, like, that's 5 energy. That's 5 energy, 1 second cast time, and 8 second cooldown. With like 60 cold damage, blinding, and then another 60 fire damage. That's insane. And a Weird Al concert. I'm absolutely jealous. In fact, I'm furious. That's not fair. Where's my Weird Al concert? I never get to have the cool concerts here. Like, the closest I got to like an actual interesting concert here was like getting Thundercat like at a festival. But meh. And I like Thundercat. I just didn't really care for everything else. I'm furious because I can't wait. Well, I hope you fucking have fun. I hope you have a blast. I've been waiting for new Weird Al material for a long time. It's been a minute because I mean it's like it's hard, I imagine, in the current space to try and parody anything because of either just, you know, the permissions as well as the base material already kind of being uninspiring for a lot of things. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I need more Weird Al in my life. I've been on a recent kick. It's been great. Take 3 days of trains on the way there. As someone who's never been on a train, even more jealous. I want a train trip. I want a train trip. But I can hunt on the way there. Hell yeah. Get that partner cat Pikachu. Never been on a train either. Oh, awesome. What did you say? I honestly have no idea. I have no memory of what I said 10 seconds ago. That's not even me trying to escape. I'm actually like, if I want to know, I actually have to go rewatch the VOD now. I have no idea what I said. Oh, something about Partner Cat Pikachu. Okay, so if you don't know, Partner Cat Pikachu, specifically like there's one particular Pikachu you can get from like a QR code in this game that actually does have a shiny form. However, it doesn't actually have a shiny model, so it'll still look exactly the same as a regular Pikachu. But it does have a shiny that you can hunt. You have to manually go into your party, check its stats, and see if it has the little shiny mark. And that's the only way you know you got it. but it is transferable to home. Can you get shiny Magearna? Not in this game, no. I don't think regular Magearna is available outside of events like that. Or regular shiny Magearna. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head though. Bro, Steam is gonna go insane. I'm focusing on Steam so much, not the platform, the spell in Guild Wars 1. That is insane. Brother. That is so much damage! And that's only at level 15. 60? It's 120 damage if on fire, and then 10 seconds of blinding. That's disgusting. Excuse me. Synergy with Double Dragon and Glyph of Immolation. And like even with a small, okay, so like they note even a small investment in water magic and elementalists primarily using fire magic can use this skill to great effect to blind foes. Absolutely, it looks like, yeah. Because even if you like put, let's say you put 6 points into water magic, and you're still getting 36 cold damage, 36 fire damage, excuse me, and then 7 seconds of blinding. Oh. That is going to make some hero skills, some hero team comps just absolutely insane. Like an all elementalist team comp. That's gonna be gross. It's gonna be so gross. All right, we're gonna do 10 more encounters. We're gonna stop at 200, and then we are going to we're gonna call it for the stream for the night. Because I think I've hit the stage of like second wind from being tired, but I'm definitely a little manic, you know? So yeah, I think we're gonna start wrapping things up here in just a couple of minutes. And I think 2 hours is a reasonable amount of time to stream here, I think. But yeah, then I'm gonna go find a snack and then pass the fuck out. And finish reading these skill lists. I might pop in Discord for a little bit, but we'll see. I don't know if anybody else is around. Only doing trains once on the way and then once back. Okay, well, that's not too bad. I presume Europe, right? Europe have the best trains. We don't get trains here. We have trains, we don't believe in them, apparently. Like, this is actually a commodity that does exist in the United States, like that you can go get trains. Long distance trains, they exist. Like passenger. I don't think I know a single person that's actually been on one. I'm fixating on the trains. Again, I'm very tired. Canada? Ah, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do it. Canada too. My condolences. You know. I gotta get the jab in. It's only fair. I'm Californian. Like, free healthcare. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. I am Californian. I get to this is my disability. Alrighty. Last one. Last one, and we're calling it. Yeah, laughs in British. Yeah, he's got us beat. Anyway, I think that is gonna wrap this up here, I think, doodlies. So I am gonna go grab a snack, watch, read patch notes, because that's what I do with myself. This is by the way, this is the most this whole stream is the most video games I've played the whole day. I haven't done anything at all today. It's been a very weird day for me. I've been here the whole time. Just, man, I need more games to play. Or I need to play more games. I have an addiction. I need to go to bed. So I'm gonna get out of here. I hope everybody liked, subscribed, and left a comment down below in the future, especially since I got that shiny Stakataka so early on. I'll have a timestamp for that up very, very soon. I need to double check and, take a look at that. But yeah, so I hope everybody has a fantastic day, week, month, or life, and I will see you all next time. Hopefully again tomorrow, maybe twice tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe if I do one of these a little bit earlier in the day, we'll see. But I think for sure at least once tomorrow with some Power World with some of my friends. So come check that out. It'll be great. But yeah, Mrs. Stakataka, it was about 9 minutes into this stream. Again, I'll have the timestamp up and running. Probably about 15 minutes or so. But it should be around the 9-minute mark, somewhere around there. But yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day, week, month, or life, and I will see you all next time. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Thank you. How do I leave? There it is.